hands on deck here.
Thank you so much. And you did re-referral?
A re-referral, ask for them. I would ask, maybe even talk to Jim Stamas, because he could, he might be about the re-referral, because I think between his office and maybe even Suzanne Miller-Allen, to ask her about it.
Thank you so much. That is encouraging.
Kara, I'd like to follow up just with the idea of the urban, some of the urban problems that, Muskegon, the urban problems are not only in Detroit. And a couple of weeks ago, I went around to my colleagues and who represent urban districts like, Grand Rapids and Battle Creek and Pontiac and Muskegon, of course, and the Detroit ones as well. If there was an interest in developing an urban agenda in an urban caucus, and there was significant interest. But one of the things I'd like to do first is have like a forum or a town hall with many of you are on my list to call about this, to get your ideas on what the state could do to help urban issues. And it came about because of my concerns and working with the Muskegon Heights School District that, yes, mistakes were made, but look at all the things that they had no control over that put them in the situation they're in,
Well,
like the declining values of homes and people moving out of the district for jobs and all those things they have no control over. Were not part of the it became part of the. It caused the problem, but they had no control over it. So I will be in touch with many of you, all of you.
We understand that, Representative Wright, and today there are many problems. There are unsurmountable problems out there, but today we are concentrating on what we're going to do with moving this bill along and what we can do for the disenfranchised, the people that are receiving dialysis at this point. And we can appreciate what you're doing. I applaud you, but we do have a limited amount of time, and we want to kind of zero in on this problem. At this time, we will yield to Minister Churchwell. Minister Churchwell is a member of the Muskegon branch NAACP, and he has been instrumental in this project for some time. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think one of the issues that we have to bring to the light at some point in time is that there is a problem that's permeating under the surface of this, that's creating more of a problem than getting this bill passed and any other bill passed in this area. And it's this. Many of the leaders and the majority of the leaders that we have sitting in the chairs that we have are simply out of touch with reality. Until something happens to put them in touch with reality, we're going to keep spinning our wheels. For example, the issue of prevention and education. We're at a point now to where it's not rocket science to know that treatment has risen to the level to where it's commensurate to the level of prevention that is needed to control these situations. The other thing that shows an extreme need to get in touch is that people think that you can throw education on it and fix it and it goes away. When the reality to it all is that the education only shows a deeper frustration for people who realize what's going on than anything else. And that frustration is this. When you throw the education out there, we need to be aware that the population that we're dealing with does not have the funds to deal with the things or buy the things that they need to utilize, from the education that's being given to them. It's hard to manage diabetes because it's expensive for poor people. Food is high. Fresh vegetables cost a lot of money. So the buzzword is, let's throw education on it, let's throw prevention on it. We can quiet them down, we can put a pacifier in their mouth. But we're getting to the point now to where we're beyond the point to where you can use education and prevention as a pacifier, because treatment is commensurate, if not further along than the need, for education. Treatment is, rather. So out of touch individuals will never allow a bill like this to leave from a desk. So maybe we do need to get some visuals. Maybe we do need to do what you're saying on a stronger level to get them out here so they can see the need at first hands, with their eyes. Some people, you can't tell them, you have to show them. And we're dealing with this all over this country, and that's why our country is in such a down spiral right now, is because the political process has been replaced with the popularity contest. And it's people who want to live out their fantasies and their dreams, and they got the money to play, the game to get to where they want to get in the office, and they're holding it down. But the reality of it is this, is we need to figure out a way to get our leaders more in touch. And not just with this issue, but with a myriad of issues that deal with poverty and deal with poor people. And that's what we're really dealing with right now. Because when they throw the education money out there, people can't afford that stuff. Is it going to be a plan to come along with that?
Right about that.
Once we educate them, that's going to help them to be able to follow those steps. People are just trying to survive. And as long as people don't believe that there's people that are sleeping in cars, as long as there's people that can't wrap their mind around the thought that there's people that's sleeping in abandoned buildings, as long as people can't wrap their mind around the thought that there's people that can't take care, of their own needs when it comes to dialysis in Reno, there's going to always be people that sit back and say, well, $70,000 is too much money. We need to get in touch. And once we get in touch, we can start moving these agendas along. This is very disheartening, Sister Ava, as hard as you and the committee have been working, to not be able to get the level of respect due to the quality of life that people at the end of their life should have, that level of respect.